All right, so I guess we can address this right away that this is awkward. We had some tough meetings at the end of last week, and those meetings ending. That sucked. That sucked. I know that there's no great way forward after having to do that, but I guess it's my job to do so. So I'm just gonna do my best here, and we'll just get through it. I know it's awkward to continue to have some of the Roxen conversations with those of you who are not going to have to learn Roxen and be part of that. And so some of these meetings coming up, I'll just be adjusting the guest list, I guess, so that if it's not relevant to you, you don't have to attend the meeting. Things like that. I'm going to do my best to, I guess, make things as least awkward as possible, but stuff's still going to be awkward. And, we're just going to have to do the best that we can to work through it. And I appreciate all of you will do to help that. Even though I'm sure that I'm not some of your favorite person right now, and that's okay. I do have a couple things about Roxen that I'm going to go over today. So we had our first big production test on Monday. It was pretty mixed. Some things went pretty well. Some things went pretty not well. We have already, in the 2 days since, made a lot of changes to things to make them go better, to fix the way, issues we're having with how stories were coming in, stuff like that. And it's also given us a really good insight into how training needs to go. So, and that training is starting actually later today. Some of you have gotten an invitation to a meeting at 3:45 to go over some bright spot stuff. If you weren't as familiar with it, Meredith is going to be leading that training to give sort of an overview to the basics of what we need to know in Bright Spot to be able to get the stories from there to Roxen during the daily shift. We're going to have a bunch more trainings coming up, and those will, as we talked about, a lot of them are going to be small group. So you'll just get an invitation for that to your small group. So please make sure that you're paying attention to your email and to your calendar to see when you get those invitations, and make sure that you respond to them. And if there's an issue with attending them, to let me know right away. We're also going to have a fair number of one-on-one meetings coming up to do some different training, so that some of the training you already went through, we can just kind of go over it again, make sure you don't have any questions, and then you can have some time to just mock up the pages in Roxen as though it were a live section, even though it's not actually live, so that you can become more familiar with the software, figure out what you need more help on, just have a better understanding of how it works before you have to do any actual live sections. So more on that coming up, and not all of you are going to be doing a lot of that stuff in the next couple of weeks, because we're rolling the papers out, phasing them a little bit. And so some of you won't be working on those papers until more toward the end of that. And so the training order is going to be determined by that. The information on team changes and different coverage plans and things like that will be out later. Like, it's kind of mostly set, but we're working through it. For any of you that we're expecting there to be a significant schedule change, I'll reach out to you within the next week so that you've got that. And I don't think most of the schedules are very similar to what they were before. So questions on any of that? Okay. As always, you guys know where to find me. And like I said, we're just going to work through some of this stuff, and some of it's going to be awkward, and that's okay. We'll get through it. So just let me know what you need. If you need to talk, if, whatever, regardless of how Thursday went for you, I'm still here for you, and whatever I can do to make this go as well for you as possible, I want to do that. So I need you to let me know what I can do for you. And then beyond that, as you guys may know, Joey Good, who is not on this call because he doesn't work Wednesdays, has resigned, and his last day is going to be Sunday. So if you talk to Joey at all, please wish him well. And then we are going to need some weekend help. So your team leaders are going to be sending out messages, asking about your availability, and anything that you can do to help there and get us through that. So that's what I have for today. Emily, Michael, Matt, Joe, anything I forgot? Or Steve?
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
okay. Well, right now we're still obviously moving things through the Google Doc system. One thing I want to note is for pod editors, let's make sure that we're looking at the most recent, always hit publish again and get the most recent. We had a really weird one today where the story had two different headlines that came out within a minute of each other. But if you look in Brightspot, it was published once, but two Google Docs kicked out within, like I said, like 45 seconds of each other, and one had a different headline than the other. And then on the digests, we've asked local editors to include within their, and you all learn this when you go through Brightspot training, to include notes like label heads, prep baseball, college football, whatever it may be. A lot of it obviously has to do with sports. But if you see those on the digest as well, maybe the editor didn't put it in the print options in Brightspot, but those are things to look for. And again, once we get to Roxen, we'll have that ability to, put those right in there so that we know they're right there. So, but that's all I have today. The budget's coming together for tomorrow. It's pretty good. We've got a lot of news, and probably add some more. And I just talked to Michael. We are going to push the Nation World cover to deadline tonight, and with the Trump town hall. So, but that's everything I've got.
Yep, Emily.
If you have not been in contact with IT about Roxen stuff, or if you haven't had that installed yet, put in a ticket so they can communicate with you about a good time to do that.
All right. Thank you all. Like I said, if you need me, let me know. I'm still here for you. Thank you.